everybody. Welcome to Zen Mondays. My name is Stephanie Virchaux. I am a certified coach, an energy healer, and motivational speaker. And I'm here with you live every Monday for a fun segment called Zen Mondays. And it's a quick 20 minutes to half an hour. Hi, Jen. Welcome, welcome. Everybody coming in. So yeah, it's about 20 minutes, half an hour. And today's topic is all about finding peace through forgiveness. So let me find, actually, you know what? Let's get started because I was going to find a song that I love, but I'll come to it right away because it seems, hi, hello, welcome. I am so happy to see everybody. So let's get started. So yeah, today's topic came to me really this morning when I was meditating. So sometimes meditation is easy, quick, painless, if you will, and it's just a process that I use to center, to connect, and it's a good way to get the day started without going all over the place. But today I woke up thinking like, okay, I feel like there's something in here that I need to ask and go a little bit further. So when that happens, I am very spiritual, but I can be very lax and have fun with my meditation. So I just start asking God, the universe, if that's what you believe in, whatever greater power you believe in, I start asking, what do I need to know? Like, what do I need? What's going on? Like, what do I need? And then this is the part that's hardest in meditation, where you really have to quiet the mind and allow for the answer to come through. So I started breathing, I put in music and just started breathing and breathing. And what kept coming up was forgiveness. And when I say coming up, it's your intuition, right? So your intuition is the first hit that you get. So I kept hearing forgiveness, forgiveness. And then I'm like, okay, going through the Rolodex in my head, who do I have to forgive? Who am I holding on to some resentment? Who is somebody or a situation that I might be holding on to for a little bit longer than I should have? And then all of a sudden I got this other intuitive hit, and it was like, it's not about somebody else, it's about forgiving yourself. And then I got like goosebumps, like even right now, I got goosebumps all over, and I'm like, whew, okay, so forgiving myself. What does that mean? How do I go about it? And I wrote a quick affirmation. I have it in my diary, but it was like, I easily let go and I forgive. I honor my feelings and anything in the past, because I know that it's something critical that brought me to where I am today. And just like a quick something to let it out and not really dwell on it. But then I said, okay, for the rest of the day, what are things that I need to forgive about myself? Like, what are things that I've been holding on to a little bit longer that are not really serving me? And that's going to be today's topic. The other thing that really inspired and I got behind it was this book that I've been reading. It's called Letting Go. Highly, highly recommended. And I think the reason why I love it so much, it's because I know a lot of you guys that are on and that you listen, you are empath, you feel everything. We have 1,000 emotions going on, every second of the day. And while that is something that I personally think it's a superpower, sometimes it can be a little overwhelming, because if you work in a corporate environment, or if you're with a lot of people, or if you have a lot of things going on in your life, feeling things all the time can result to wanting to escape, wanting to numb, wanting to avoid, because it's almost like what is it? Like, what's going on? So the reason why I love that book so much, and I just started a couple days ago, but it breaks out the anatomy, if you will, of an emotion. So it's what's your emotion, and then it breaks out different emotions that are considered negative emotions or harder emotions like grief, apathy, depression, and it tells you where, it breaks it down all the way to the root of it. So not to get too much into the book, but a lot of what I'm going to talk about today is part of what I've been learning in the book and part of my own journey in this forgiveness. I wrote a blog about it, so I have it all in front of me because I want to make sure I am not forgetting anything. The other part of forgiveness is that in some situations, so there's horrible, horrible situations, really, really sad situations where you might be asking yourself like, all right, Steph, well, I went through this happened to me. I'm not willing to forgive. I'm not willing to let go, which is fair because some of them are very complex and there are a lot of layers. So what I would recommend in that case is to say, okay, fine, but what is it costing you? Is it costing you your happiness? Is it costing your time? Is it costing you you continuing your life? At what cost are you willing to hold on to not forgiving a situation or a person? And if you look at the things and you're like, yes, I am willing to do that. Right now, that's what I need to hold on to it. Great. Wait a couple months and then reevaluate. So continuously asking yourself, when there's somebody that is hard to forgive, ask yourself, at what cost and what am I benefiting? Like, what am I getting out of it? If at the end, if you go through this months and months and it's a year goes by and you look through it again and you're asking yourself, okay, it's costing me my happiness, it's costing me to move on with my life, it's costing me to maybe started drinking more than I should or sleeping more than I should, or is that worth it? If you get a no, then in that moment you make the decision and you ask, how can I be healed? How can I forgive? Because the time, that chapter has ended. So that leads me into part of holding on to not forgiving something. So holding on to that resentment. And I would love your vulnerability. And please, if you felt this way, let me know. But there is this quirky, weird feeling, and it's that inner satisfaction when you don't forgive something. Give me some hearts. Give me some emojis if you can relate to any of this. So sometimes when we're holding on to that energy and not wanting to forgive, there's a part of ourselves to where it feels good, like I am right, that person did me wrong, that situation was messed up, so I'm not forgiving. I want to sit in my will and it feels good. So if you admit that from the get-go, to know there's a slight inner satisfaction in not forgiving somebody or not forgiving a situation, you're already moving forward. So you're at least saying, you know what, I am getting something out of it. I feel good. I want to hold on to this anger because right now it's satisfying me and I need that. Okay, fair. So that's something I wanted to bring up. The other thing is, as we're going through the stages of forgiveness, think that every emotional experience, so whether it's, again, anger, irritation, disappointment, sadness, it's bringing us an opportunity for ourselves to go up or go down. So ultimately, and I've talked about this before, it's about how you perceive the situation. We've all gone through really hard things in our lifetime. And I'm sure if I were to say, everybody share with me what you've gone through or think about what you've gone through, I'm sure every single person that is currently live with me can think of one thing that you're like, this is really hard. So once you've admitted that it's hard, then it's up to you how you perceive it. Okay, so if the universe was rigged, if this was happening for my advantage, if God was on my side, why would this have happened? Why would this why could this have happened to me? It's not happening to you, it's happening for you. So as you're going through the forgiveness process, even in my case where I'm forgiving myself, I think, I haven't figured out my forgiveness for myself, but what keeps coming back to me is that I've been groomed and trained and reprogrammed to believe that hard and hustle is the only thing that gives you success. So I'm really hard on myself. And okay, again, I'm sure that's everybody can say that. But in this process of where I'm going through right now, I realize that when I'm hard on myself, I shut down. And I wonder if it's because I'm not in corporate anymore and I don't have somebody up my ass telling me what to do and when I am miserable. But can anybody relate is when you're hard, that's the only way to get success. And I know in my mind and what I've experienced, that's what I know. But I know in my heart and in my gut, that's not the way I want to live. Absolutely not. So the process and my self-forgiving that I'm learning is to say, first of all, chill out and forgive yourself. If you're not working 16-hour days, that's not the only way to achieve results. That's not the only way that you're going to be successful. Actually, that's not the way. So I think that's a little bit of the journey of my self-forgiveness journey. With you, think about, is it more about somebody that you can think right away? And if you were to type it, you were to tell me, Steph, yes, this person, I hate their guts and I'm not willing to forgive. Or can you say, you know what, I'm looking at my friends and my family and my history. I can't really think of a person or a situation. So that could be a tip that it goes back to yourself, and it's a self-forgiveness to work on. Okay, so I want to share with you a couple, it's going to be, let's say 5. I have 5 tips I wrote down on how you can heal your past, how you can start forgiving, whether it's yourself, a situation, or somebody that is in your past and is holding on to where you are today. And before I start, I guess the reason why I focused on the past is because I got an angel message today through numbers. So if you're interested in that, let me know. But every number has an angel message. And it was 9:59 this morning, not only 1111 or the sequence, which those are huge, but also when there's repetitive numbers. So this morning at 9:59, hi Mel, welcome. I got an angel message through my numbers that said, and it was such a validation from this morning. Once you let go of your past and you truly release your past, that's the way you're gonna create space for the present to manifest. So by letting go and releasing any past pain or anything that hurts and you're still holding on to that pain or that resentment, once you let that go, you're actually going to create space energetically to allow your desires and your manifestations in the present moment. Oh my God, if that's not a sign or a reason, anyways, for me it is, and I hope for you guys as well, but if that's not a sign and a way to say, you know what, I've lived in the past long enough, it served a purpose and I honor my feelings, but man, I'm ready to make some energy and create some room for the desires that I have today. Like, I don't want my desires of the past because those are gone. I am focusing on my current desires. For me, it's growing my coaching business, I want to create more workshops. I want to work with more people. I want to create an online shop course. I want to do energy healing. Like, there is so much. And if I get to forgive myself and let go and release of the past to create room for the present and my future desires, I am in. So let's dive right in. Now that you have a little bit of idea, and hopefully that helped you. If you have any comments, let me know. But I'm going to share with you 5 steps on how you can heal your past, release and let go of any resentments and anything that's holding you back from really living today where you are and creating the future and the desires that you want. So number 1 is think of a few or a couple emotions that you can think of. And I'm sending a blog on Wednesday. So if you haven't signed up. It's on my link on Instagram, and I'll have all the steps if you want to take notes. But step number 1 is think of the emotions that you associate the trauma with. So whether it's a trauma, whether it's somebody, a situation that was really hard for you, a person that really hurt your feelings, what are a few emotions that you can think of it right now that makes you feel? So if by the way, you're having a hard time coming up with it, I suggest play some good music or meditation music, relaxing music, and take out your journal. And as soon as you ask, my intention is to heal from the past. My intention is to honor my emotions. What are they? As long as you make yourself in a safe environment, the emotions are gonna come out. If you're forcing them, your brain is saying, don't go there because it's gonna hurt. Don't go there, it's too hard. Don't go there, you're not gonna be able to come back. You totally shut down and you're gonna shove them under the rug and nothing is gonna come up. But if you kind of Make it to where it's comfortable and you get some tea, you get your journal, you tell yourself like, listen, Steph, I want to get to know my emotions because I don't want to hide them anymore. I am ready to feel my emotions. I know I'm stronger. I know I'm being protected. I am willing to heal the past. Make yourself in a trustworthy situation. Allow the mind not to freak out, to relax, and let everything come out. So step one, what are those emotions? Once you figure out the emotions, think about it for a few minutes or write it down for a few minutes. What is it costing me? So let's say the emotions were anger, sadness, resentment, rage. Oh, I have so much rage inside of me, and I know it's a very taboo topic, especially for women. But I've realized the past year, I've had so much rage. It's been pent up for so many years of my life, and I've lost my shit so many times, and I've honored it. It needed to come out, but it was rage. It was so much rage. So what are those emotions? What is it costing me? Is it costing me, maybe preventing me from being in a relationship? If you want to be in a relationship, is it preventing me from being closer to my friends and family? Maybe a group of your friends did something to you, you've held it in. Maybe a physical aggravation happened to you and now you're scared to be in a group of people and you hold back. Maybe you get anxious in social settings. Maybe there's something with your parents. There's some trauma in your parents. And when you're around your family members of your parents, you get really upset. So you avoid family gatherings at all costs. What are those emotions costing you? And you can always do like, what's costing me? And then what is it worth it? Is it worth for me to be sad every Christmas because I don't want to see my family? Is it worth it for me to alienate every single potential relationship person because I'm too scared of what it's going to feel like to feel loved? Is it worth it for me to not create the business of my dreams because I'm so focused and being hard on myself that I'm burning myself out on the other end? Right? What is it costing me? What is it worth it? Once you put all that was step 2. Step 3, I want you to do all those feelings, the initial feelings, the aggravation, the rage, the frustration, the anger. Let's say it's no more than 5 because you don't want to have like a laundry list, really the top 5. On the other side, what's the opposite feeling of that? So if it's anger, I'd be happy. If I'm frustrated, it would be maybe I'm feeling ease. I'm feeling things are flowing easily. If it's rage, maybe it's peaceful. Those 5 things, and put the opposite feeling. When you look at the opposite feeling, the most beautiful and amazing things happen. And it's actually just happened to me. You take a deep breath and you realize that the feelings that you've been associating your life experience with have been making you so resistant and like tension and pain. And for me, my stomach gets in the biggest knot and it's like a... So once you realize that everything has an opposite, right? Like everything has the opposite. When you realize like these are the opposites of the feelings that I've been holding on to, you start to say, step number 4 is, let's play a game and go on an adventure. If I were to forgive this person, if I were to forgive what happened to me, if I were to forgive God, if I were to forgive my parents, if I were to forgive myself, and if I were to feel all the opposite feelings, happy, at ease, peaceful, proud, fulfilled, what would that be like what would it be like to live that life? What would that feel like? And then write a journal entry. If I were to have those emotions, what would my life be like? Because the first journal entry from the first step was to write what it is today. The second one is what it would be like to be with these positive emotions. What would it be? Would it be worth it? What are the benefits? How would my life differ? The beautiful thing happens is that I'll finish. The beautiful thing that happens is that We are programmed, our bodies, ourselves, our cells, our mind, our souls are programmed, if you will, to live in those feelings of happiness, of joy, of stillness, of peace, of fulfillment, of playfulness, of life. Like that's our core. That's who we are. So, and listen to me, because this is really, really important. The minute you start living your life with the opposite of those feelings, which sometimes not forgiving somebody and holding on resentment, resentment is the opposite of flow. So when you are hurt and you decide for now on, I'm gonna live in these feelings. I'm angry, I'm hurt, I'm sad, I'm rageful, I'm frustrating, I hate everybody. And that's gonna be my way of living. And by the way, I'm gonna numb it because I can't handle all of those things. They're too hard for me to live with. So I'm gonna live without it because it's too hard, I'm gonna numb it. Automatically, everything that you were built to be and to create and to live, you're doing the complete opposite. So by following those negative emotions, you feel complete resistance in everyday action. That's what brings depression, that's what brings apathy, that's what brings neglect, that's what brings avoidance, that's what brings self-sabotage. Because you're in essence self-sabotaging the things that are painful to you, even though you want to hold on to them. So the minute you realize and you say, I don't want to be angry, I don't want to be pissed, this is how I want to feel like. Do I have it in me to forgive that person? Do I have it in me to forgive that situation? And by the way, us humans, we want to forgive. Even if you go to bed at night, even if you wouldn't admit it to anybody, ultimately, when you feel within you, you want to forgive. We are wired to forgive. So again, when you're holding on to that pain of not forgiving, when you're holding on to that rage and that frustration and that anger of not forgiving a situation you're in, a person, yourself, you're going against who you are. It's like telling a kid and being pissed because it cannot walk. And you're like, you're not walking, you're stupid, what do you mean? And literally a baby that, are you kidding me? You know what I mean? Like, have patience, know that it's gonna walk, but second of all, know that it's wired to walk. Babies are born and they're going to walk. You are wired to forgive. So if a baby were to, knock on wood, being then like, you're gonna be in a crib and you're just like not gonna walk, and you were to hold that baby there for years, this is such a terrible example, by the way, but it's what came to mind, and not hold it and it couldn't walk for years, it would be the most miserable baby in the world. Because it's like, I want to walk, damn it, like let me out and let me walk. No, you're not. So it's miserable. You'd probably be crying 24/7. So with us, we're adults, we are wired to forgive and we are wired to feel good, positive, joyful emotions. So the minute that we don't forgive, and the minute we choose to live our lives based on the trauma that happened to us and look at it like victims, instead of looking at it like, why did this happen to me? What could I have learned? You turn the story around, you connect with your love, you connect with those feelings of joy and happiness and feels good and love. I'm getting goosebumps. You completely shift your life around. Whew, that was good. What are you guys thinking? What are you feeling? Give me some comments. Give me some little taps, hearts, whatever it is. I want to make sure that everything came through. I want to make sure you guys, if you have any questions, okay, looking good. Okay, so those are the steps. If you missed the beginning of this, please just rewind. It'll be live 24 hours before I post it on YouTube. But I'm basically going to walk you through 4 steps on forgiveness in order to find peace within you. And it's beautiful and it's strong and it's powerful. So I would say the key right now, and especially in a world where there's so much to hate, there's so much to be angry about, there's so much frustration, you're still alive. Think about it. You are still alive. So through the act of forgiveness, you are able to connect with yourself, connect with the part that is love, and you are able to replicate that energy to those around you. If that doesn't ring a bell and you're like, screw this, I want to be angry for the rest of my life, this is definitely not the place for you to be listening to, because it's not the kind of advice I'm going to give you. But if you're alive, there is a purpose for you to be alive today. I challenge you to look at an area where you can forgive, even if it's your teacher from middle school that made you feel embarrassed in the middle of class. Because by the way, I have that story for another time. I should forgive him. I forgive Mr. Maloney. I'm going to forgive him. Okay, really quick before we do our meditation, but I had just moved to Miami. I was in 8th grade. We had just moved from Chile. I used to live in Chile, and I barely knew any English. I was probably like 13, 14, and I only knew like car, blue, I don't know, like basic English words, right? So we were in English class, and you know when you're in high school, you have to read, like, you know, you're sitting in front of each other, but every person reads like a paragraph and then you pass it on. So it was my turn, right? And it was literally my first week in 8th grade in middle school. I didn't want to read. I didn't know any English. I could barely understand what the directions of the exercise were. So my turn came, and Mr. Maloney, God bless if you're out there, was like, all right, Stephanie, it's your turn. And I was like, mm-mm. And he's like, Stephanie, you have to read. It's your turn. I was like, I froze and I bit my tongue. I'm like, I'm not, so I didn't. He comes to me after class and says, have you ever heard of a lunch detention? Can you believe it? He gave me a lunch detention for not reading in class to somebody that didn't even could speak English, and then I had to go stay lunch detention and clean the whole lunchroom, Mr. Maloney. So anyways, fun story. I don't know why that came to me, but I was still actually holding on to that because he made me feel so silly and made me feel bad that I didn't know English. So there's that. Okay, so let's go to the next part of our Zen Mondays and do a beautiful, I'm just pulling out the music. Let's do a beautiful forgiveness meditation. So it'll be a couple of minutes, no more than 5 minutes, so then you can head on with your night, get to dinner, whatever it is you want to do. But it'll really help you set the mind frame and the heart to start the healing process with yourself, with anybody or any situation. So if you want to get comfortable, play the music. All right, let's take a deep breath all the way in. Hold it at the top and exhale all the way out. Let's just move our shoulders and let go of any anxiety, let go of any tension from the day as we settle in and do this beautiful, forgiving meditation. Let's take another deep breath. And as you breathe out, just gently close your eyes. Now I want you to focus right around your heart. Start feeling your heartbeat. Start feeling every single breath that you take with your eyes closed. And start connecting with yourself. Start appreciating your heartbeat and knowing that you are alive. Your time has not come. Your time is right now. And in order to be able to step into this new chapter, in order to be able to fully step in within your desires and your purpose, there has to be a release. There has to be a forgiveness of the past. and heal that sadness, that pain that's buried deep within you. As you continue to breathe and connect with yourself, start noticing the parts of yourself that are dancing in joy, that are feeling light just with the thought of forgiveness. The parts of yourself that already feel some sort of release by the words and the feelings behind the act of forgiveness. Lean into those emotions. Lean into the feelings of what it would feel like, what your life would be like when you forgave. Think about that person, that situation, and I'm holding the space for you. We're holding the space for you. Of you can go there, you can think of the situation, of the person, of that experience that you've lived through that has caused you so much pain. Continue breathing into it, feeling your heartbeat, and know that you are ready and willing to forgive. You are ready and willing to heal. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. As you continue to breathe into that area, feel those feelings of appreciation, of gratitude, of love. Because without that person, without that situation, without that experience, you would not be where you are today. You would not be the person that you are today. Feel into that love and tell yourself, whether out loud or in your head, repeat after me. I am ready to forgive my past. I am ready and willing to heal my pain. Universe, thank you for showing me the way to healing my pain and releasing my past. Now take a deep breath all the way in. Feel into those feelings and hold it at the top for a second. And exhale. Place your hands upon your heart. Feel the heartbeat. And know that as you're going through this process, as you're going through this journey of forgiving, releasing, and healing, you can always connect with your heartbeat. You can connect with your heart, with your source of love, to know that you are being guided, that you are being protected, and you are 100% capable of healing yourself and releasing what no longer serves you. Now take a deep breath with me all the way in and exhale. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Hello, my friends. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. How was that meditation for you? How did that feel? Give me some hearts. Give me some love. I hope you were able to connect with parts of yourself that might have been hiding for a while. To know that forgiveness is possible, even in hard circumstances. We are wired to forgive. And remember, as we finish this session of Zen Mondays, when we forgive and we release of the past, you are literally making room for your desires of today. So just like you would clean your closet and you would make room for new clothes, you are cleaning your energetic vibes. You are cleaning your energetic aura. You're cleaning your mind and yourself in order to make room for your desires today. And to me, that's the biggest motivation to find the healing that I'm going through, to find that self-forgiveness, and to make room for today, man. Because we are living in the present. All right, so let's end this awesome Zen Mondays. Thank you for joining me, you guys. I am here every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I hope you join me. If you love this episode, share it, tell your friends. Sign up for my Revisit Your Zen. I send it every Wednesday with a recap of what we talked today. And thank you again. I hope you have an amazing week. Take care of yourself and see you next week for a brand new Zen Mondays live at 7:30 p.m. Have a good one. Have a good week. Stay in touch. Be good. Take care.